Alright, what's up guys? David here, and I have our second battle in the NPL Minors Tournament. We're up against Uzigunner, coach of the Bullet Punch Club. Alright, you can see his team right there on the right. His draft is very scary. He has a Mew, Tapu Fini, Zydog, Buzzwole, Mega Diancie, Tornadus Eye, Alolan Marowak, and Komala. Now, his team is kind of threatening to us, purely because of, once again, very scary priority in the form of Zydog. And unless I'm using Silvally, I don't really have a grass check or a fairy check or anything check. We're hyper offense, boys. So what better way to embrace the hyper offense than with our team, which I will get into right now. First up is our Mega Beedrill. Mega Beedrill does a ton of work to his team, his only real checks being Buzzwole and Alolan Marowak, as well as Tornadus if it's Scarfed. But, well, any Scarfer really, but Mew or Tornadus are probably the only Scarfers I could see coming. But here we have it, Poison Jab, Fell Stinger, knockoff U-turn. Knockoff for the Marowak. If I get a Fell Stinger boost off the Mew, then knockoff Oko's Marowak, barring Colbur Berry. And U-turn for general pivoting, Poison Jab for Tapu Fini and for Tornadus, and just in general, standard poisons. Max attack, Jolly to this spread outspeeds Jolly, Scarf, Buzzwole. That's the one. There we go. Now, is he going to bring Jolly, Scarf, Buzzwole? Probably not. Do I really do anything to a Jolly, Scarf, Buzzwole? Probably not. But it's just so it's there just in case. Alright, so let's go on to the real power pick though. We have in Specs Analytic Starmie with Psychic, Hydro Pump, Thunderbolt, and Trick. He actually has 0 switch-ins to this. His Water Resist is a Tapu Fini, and his Psychic Resist is a Mew, meaning that they are both likely to be defensive. Maybe Fizz Def for Mew, or especially defensive for Mew. I'm expecting either specially defensive Mew and physically defensive Fini, or Fizz Def Mew and AV Komala. And then he'd use like a bulky Buzzwole as his physical check. But regardless, Starmie is here to murder everything. After an analytics boost, Hydro Pump, 2-hit KOs Komala even, if it was like Assault Vest Spadef or whatever it wanted to be. But yeah, Starmie's there to murder things, and that's its main job. It's to break walls, to let Beedrill and Silvally and everybody else do their job. Up next, we have a Rocky Helmet Salamence, very bulky. Enough speed to outspeed Timid Buzzwole, if I'm not mistaken, as well as a couple others. I think it's Timid Buzzwole. I believe that's what my number hits. Possibly Tapu Fini, I don't recall. Oh wait, I'm 297, of course I outspeed Tapu Fini. I'm not, whatever. But, regardless, let me get back on topic. Men's here is Rocky Helmet. He's rocking Air Cutter, Hydro Pump, Roost, and Defog. Air Cutter is for the Buzzwole, Hydro Pump is for the Marowak and for general damage, Roost for Roost, and Defog because Starmie is destroying things today and can't be bothered with spin. This is my Alolan Marowak check. I don't know if you noticed, but my draft in general doesn't really have anything for Alolan Marowak. As far as switch-ins are concerned, aside from maybe a defensive Crocodile or something, but yeah, I I couldn't really bring Crocodile this week. Just a lot of things on his team just in general threaten Crook, so just didn't make a lot of sense for me to bring it. But things that do make sense is this Doug Trio. He has priority, and much like all the other members in my group, it's a very scary priority. But with how switch-in weak, what am I trying to say? The lack of switch-ins on my team to anything on his team leads me to believe that his Zygarde is probably going to be banded or scarfed, or it might be Dragon Dance without E-Speed. Point of fact is, I don't think he's going to have E-Speed, and if he does, I'll try and play around it. But we're Jolly Max Speed Doug Trio because I didn't have anywhere else to put the EVs when I was done putting them in speed and attack. I needed to be Jolly for the Diancie. I also outspeed Zydog, Earthquake, Oko's Zydog after rocks. Yeah, guaranteed it Oko's Zydog after rocks. Aerial Ace does 50 to Buzzwole. Edge is for Torn. Memento is for just, I needed a last move. And I debated Sucker Punch, but I figured Memento would be nicer to let Starmie and Beedrill come in for free. But yeah, Dougie's job is to trap Diancie, it's to trap Zydog, it's to trap Finny, it's to trap Mew. It's there to clean up threats that were already whittled. So, moving on. Mesprit is a Calm Mind Stealth Rocker. Very weird set. Ice Beam plus Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball is for Mew to let me set up on that. Ice Beam is for the Zydog because this is my switch into a Zydog. It pretends to switch in. It's great at pretending to switch into things. Calm Mind is there to let me set up on things and scout for Haze on the top of Finny, and also to let me sort of check the Diancie. I don't see a real need for Diamond Storm over Power Gem. Neither is very... Both are good, but like, I don't know, I just feel like the special, he'll be fully special, or he'll be fully physical, but yeah, if he's special, then Mesprit walls after a Calm Mind or two. And last but not least, we have our Silvally this week. It is not rocking the Grass Memory. For some reason, I decided that Grassium Z works like Grass Memory. It doesn't, spoiler alert. So, we were supposed to be a Grass type Silvally with multi-attack, Rock Slide, Flame Charge, Swords Dance. It's enough speed to outspeed Jolly Buzzwole again. And Rock Slide is for Marowak and Torn. Flame Charge to get speed to then outspeed Torn. And outspeed Zydoge too, and all that other fun stuff. Multi-attack hits everything that's relevant aside from the Buzzwole. But my plan for Buzzwole is sack Amon and bring in Starmie. Yeah, good plan. But yeah, I didn't realize that it was Grass Z Crystal until the match started. So, yeah, fun stuff. So, we're essentially just a normal Silvally without an item. Be that as it will. So, let's get to the match and we'll see how that goes. Alright, up here, we're looking at the screen. He left the Komala and the Alolan Marowak at home, which is good news for my Starmie, meaning that is probably a Spadef Mew. So I'm going to find a way to weaken the Mew and then spam Psychic to win the game. Now, as far as his leads, I could see Mew leading to set up rocks. I could see Zydog leading if it's choiced in any way. I could see Buzzwole leading if it's scarfed, and I could see Torn leading if it's scarfed. So I'm going to lead my Mega Beedrill, sort of hope that it is the Mew or the Buzzwole, or maybe hope that he messes up and leads Diancie or Finny. But regardless, that's my plan. I have no other objective here, so we're just going to click start. And he leads Torn. So turn 1, this is important. Him leading Torn immediately signals this guy is Scarfed. Now, everybody... So Scarfed just seems so obvious, so I'm banking on the fact that he's Scarfed and on the fact that he's not going to click Hurricane. Like, it wouldn't really make sense to just click Hurricane turn 1. I have a very safe switch into my Mesprit, who could take 2 Hurricanes with ease, especially if it's Scarfed. My Mence eats Hurricanes for breakfast. Silvally, he doesn't know if it's like a flying resist Silvally. It could be Silvally Steel, it could be Silvally Electric, could be Silvally Rock. Like, so he doesn't know what the Silvally's doing, so overall I think his optimal play is, in my mind at this point, I'm like, he's going to click U-turn, or he's going to knock off, or he's not Scarfed and he's going to switch out into his Buzzwole. So, and then worst case scenario, of course, he's actually Scarfed and he clicks Hurricane and I lose my Beedrill. But overall, looking at his team, I wasn't super worried. If that was the case, I was willing to accept losing Beedrill turn 1 to find out if it was Scarfed. But what ends up happening is a series of unfortunate events. The best case scenario, I see that he's Scarfed, he misses his Hurricane, and I crit him on the U-turn. I'm so sorry, Uzi. You did not deserve that. But this game is far from over. All this tells me is that it's Scarfed and that I can bring in my Mesprit. It certainly puts me at a huge advantage, but let's just continue. So I go into my Mesprit, knowing that it's Scarfed now. I can get up my rocks. He goes into his Tapu Fini, likely his Defogger over Mew. I get my rocks up. I go into my Silvally, believing it's Grass. He goes for a Defog. That's fine. Here, I'm like, alright, I'm not a Grass type, so he can't burn me with a Scald. I'm expecting Mew or maybe Buzzwole or literally anything to just come in and threaten this thing. So I'm just going to SD in its face, see what it wants to do. And he sets up a Reflect. And this is scary because most of my threats are physical, aside from my Starmie. And he has a Spadef Mew for my Starmie. So I don't really know what I'm going to do at this point. I just decide, alright, he put up a Reflect, I'll just SD again. And then everything will be fine. It's like the Reflect isn't even there. So that's my plan of action. Maybe he doesn't have Haze. He goes for a Nature's Madness. That makes me... The Reflect, Defog, Nature's Madness makes me... Alright, I'm going to pause here so I can continue my thought process because the game's moving faster than I can speak. Reflect, Nature's Madness, Defog. That tells me he either doesn't have Taunt or Haze, or he does not have... or he has Moonblast. That's the same thing. I'm bad at English. It's not my first language, leave me alone. So yeah, I SD'd again to scout for Haze. And he switched out, telling me that he didn't have a way to stop setup, which is great news for my Mesprit, meaning that I could come in and set up on it. Now, I went for a +4 return or multi-attack as he goes into his defensive Buzzwole, as it seems, which takes 27% through a Reflect. That is terrifying. That is like so much damage. So I'm, like I said in the team builder, I don't have a switch in for this. My switch in for a Buzzwole is to just let whatever's inside die and then bring in Starmie. So that's my plan of action. Uzi, on the other hand, decides to scout for the Flamethrower or the Air Slash. Good play on his part. As I just go for a Flame Charge, I figured He's either going to switch and be scared, letting me set up. So this multi-attack does 46 through Reflect, telling me that this is a especially defensive Mew, confirming my beliefs as he goes for a Wisp. And that's completely fine with me. I was trying to sack off my Silvally 3 turns ago, so him being burned, it doesn't do anything to me. So I'm just going to click multi-attack again as Tapu takes 35 from a burned Silvally at +4. Now, I go for a Rock Slide here because it was either going to do 35 or 21, as you see. That 10% difference, I was willing to sacrifice that 10% difference for a chance to flinch and just sort of get something out of this turn, because I figured if I could flinch this thing with a Rock Slide once or twice, if I could flinch it twice, then Silvally kills it, 100%. If I could flinch it once, then it gets lower for my Mesprit, for my Dugtrio, it gets lower for my Beedrill, just a lot of things go in its favor. So that was my plan. Flinch it, don't let it get the Reflect up, and yeah, go from there. But he doesn't flinch, he gets the Reflect up, and I decide, well, just gonna click multi-attack here as he goes into his Buzzwole and takes 14 from a burned Silvally through Reflect, which is a little unfortunate. But plan of action plan comes into play. Go into Specs Army, fire off a Specs Analytic Psychic. Mew takes 26. That's with an Analytic boost. That does so little. So I'm very glad that Silvally was able to put in a lot of work. So in comes Torn. I know I can live a Hurricane. I know I can live a U-turn. But I'm going to switch out anyway, just in case it's like a knockoff or something. So he U-turns. He goes into Finny. I decide I want to get my rocks up and I want them to stay up. So rocks come up as he reflects, and I'm going to start Calm Minding in his face because I'm convinced that he can't really kill me with his Finny. So I Shadow Ball here to sort of gauge damage. I see, yeah, it's pretty Spadef as he defogs, and I decide, nope, I'm getting rocks up. Rocks are staying on the board because that Torn is low, and if he brings in Diancie, I don't want it to get Magic Bounce. So Diancie comes in, like I guessed, and I decide I'm going to Ice Beam here and see what this Diancie wants to do as he goes for a Magnet Rise. And this Magnet Rise made no sense to me because I had no intention of going into switching in Dugtrio on the Diancie. Like, I'm not a god enough to make that kind of play. I don't know what it wants to do. It could have Rock Polished in my face, it could have Calm Minded in my face, it could have just flat out attacked and killed my poor little Dugtrio. But he Magnet Rises, which is cool playing on his part, but Dugtrio is literally the only thing that is affected by that Magnet Rise, as I don't have Drill Run on my Beedrill. So we're going to continue, and I see Magnet Rise, I see Stealth Rocks now, and I decide, oh, he's probably completely special. I don't think he'll have Diamond Storm. I'm just going to CM and start firing off attacks, and he Diamond Storms. And he gets the defense boost, but I see here that I can't die unless it's to a crit Diamond Storm or a crit Moonblast, so I end up trading my Mesprit for his Diancie, which is a good trade on my part. I'd take that trade in a heartbeat. So he goes into his Zydog, and it lets him get a free 1,000 arrows or a free E-Speed or whatever he wants to do. I just clicked Ice Beam. But as you see here, I go into my Dugtrio, and I am 110% banking on the fact that he is Choice Banded. I don't know what, I just decided that he was Choice Banded. I was like, Dugtrio is actually going to do nothing in this game because there's a Scarf Tornadus and a Fizdef Buzzwole. So either this Zygarde is banded or Dugtrio was basically death fodder anyway. So that was my thought process. I click Earthquake. I turn out to be right. He is choiced, and he loses his Zydog. He then goes into Tapu Fini instead of Buzzwole or Torn and decides to sack that off. It seems like a really big misplay when he could have gone to Torn and get at least one free kill. And then spun with Fini later on like my Mence or my Starmie even. But yeah, so turns are winding down. He misses a Hurricane, which didn't really matter because we tank those for days. I was in no fear of dying to a Hurricane. And then 2 Air Cutters will clean up the game. And that is a good game to Uzi. Be sure to check out his stuff. I will leave a link to his YouTube and his Twitter, I guess, down below. Like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube nonsense. And I will catch you guys for our 3rd game against Shadow. So, peace.